wa lálẹ́kọ́.
Èkó ló dùn.
Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ o.
Èkó ń gbádùn.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká sanwó orí wa.
Kó má bàjẹ́ o. Èkó.
It gives me great pleasure and honor to welcome you to the third annual tax conference being held in Lagos. My duty is very simple, to welcome you. But I can't but welcome you, but also give you thanks for honoring this invitation. It is clear the world over that the only way to have sustainable economic and social development is through taxation. We've had a year where some of you might be happy with us, some of you not so happy. But this meeting is to rub minds, to tell us what we can do better, to tell us the expectations you have from us. We will also tell you what we think you can do better. The revenue profiles of Lagos State might have increased, but we are still a long way off. A lot of you have seen the transformation of Lagos State and applause it, but there's still a long way to go. We want to make this meeting as informal as possible, and when His Excellency the Governor of Lagos State comes, we're going to give him a recap of what we've discussed. So please feel free. We want to hear from you today, and we want to also discuss issues that you may have. This is an opportunity where everyone in the state government is present, all revenue agencies are here, and also all taxpaying groups are here present. So please sit back and let's have a fruitful discussion. You are welcome and God bless you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will not be walking alone today. You see, the good thing about Lagos is that Lagos has a male governor, and supporting him massively is a female deputy governor. Immediately I came, they were telling me, come and use this podium, come and use this podium. I said, no, let me use this one, because that is the one I use all the time. But let me use this one today. Just like the governor of Lagos has a deputy governor who is female, I also have a deputy MC who is female. Maybe that's why people think I look like the governor. I won't be walking alone. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Sherwood Davis. A round of applause for her, please. Veteran broadcaster. When she speaks Oyibo, her husband feels like marrying her over and over again. Please, can I have a round of applause for her?
Good morning, everyone. It's indeed my pleasure to be here today. And don't mind being with men wanting to marry you all over again. Once they married you, it's wahala. You just stay there. You know. Please, a round of applause for him, please. He's been doing a wonderful job. And I also want to say congratulations to the organizers of this conference. It's good for us to pay our taxes. For a few of us who had an opportunity to be outside of this country and would love to go to America, would love to go to the UK, I tell you, the power behind the development is nothing but the citizens paying their taxes diligently. And we want to thank the Lagosians because we heard the report that we're doing well now, better than before. I also heard, sir, that some people are willingly bringing their taxes, that look, we see what the government is doing and we want to be part of it. So willingly, they're paying their taxes. Please, a round of applause to all of you. And congratulations also to everyone. Where is my husband here?
Husband for mouth. I hope your husband will not shoot me. Oh. He's not a soldier. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have a round of applause for her? We'll be moving on to the very, very important part of this program, and that is the presentation by stakeholders. Without you, this state will not move forward. Without your taxes, we would not be where we are today. Although we have not gotten to the promised land, but I prophesy that soon and very soon, Nigeria will become a mega city. If you believe, say amen.
Amen.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, whilst we're waiting for our stakeholders, I will just pray for you. May what you do bring you success in Jesus' name. May what you do bring you success, inshallah. A couple of days ago, I went to see my father, and my father will always say, we sent you to the best schools in this country. You said you want to be Baba Salah. Then I called him last week. I said, no, Daddy, I want to come and see you. He said, no, I'm not at home. I said, Daddy, I really need to see you. So I decided to go and see him against his will. When I got in, I said, Daddy, no, are you still doing that useless work? I said, which one? Are you still a comedian? I said, yes, Daddy. No son of mine would be a comedian. I said, no, Daddy. I just brought you your Christmas present. He said, hey, what is it? I said, oh, it's a brand new car. I said, CFR. So may you always succeed at what you do. And Mr. Fowler, please, I'll give you his address. You need to collect his tax. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start off with that very important part of the program, but to kick it all off, I'd like to invite a great Nigerian icon of this federation. He's been totally supportive of the Lagos State Internal Revenue. I beg of you to please join me in welcoming the special advisor to the governor on taxation and revenue, Mr. Rahman Ade Ikpaye. A round of applause for him, please.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Princess Sarah Adebisi Shosan. His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Lagos, other distinguished Royal Majesties here present. You will have to forgive me, please. I don't want to run through the entire protocol again. The Chief Imam of Lagos State, other very high chiefs here present, the Chairman, Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, Chairman of the House Committee on Finance, other very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I will quickly want to go to my assignment this morning, and I want to stress to start with that this is really the beginning of why we are here today. As usual, we want to hear from you, and we sincerely want to hear from you. We are all ears, literally. We want to take whatever praises or complaints you have for us. We want to rub minds with you regarding how we can do better next year. We want to feel the pulse of the taxpayers in Lagos State, in the firm belief that this is the only way in which we can continue to relate together for a profitable future for our great state. The format is what you might already be used to if you attended the other stakeholders summit that we have heard. This is the third. We will hear from you. We have here Her Excellency the Deputy Governor. We have representatives of all the revenue agencies with whom you have been interacting in the past year. So the reason why we have them here is so that they can hear from you. And if there is anything you say that requires their response, we want it such that you can also hear from us. And then we want to leave this forum with a determination that next year we will all do better in whatever we have been doing. His Excellency the Governor will surely join us as the day wears on What will happen is that as you speak now and as we respond, we will take notes. We will sort of condense the issues at stake, and we will present them to His Excellency. And we will hear from him too. And I think subsequent to that, we will do honor to some of our esteemed taxpayers, both corporate and individual. We will do honor to the competitors, students that competed in our essay writing competition. And the program will proceed in that way. So I would want now to call on please let me say that if you want to speak and you are representing a group, call the attention of any of the revenue service staff that are here. I think they are distinctly dressed in the t-shirt bearing the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service logo. So to kick off this discussion, we will have the Director General of the Federation of Construction Industry. That is Mr. T.A. Adekombi. Mr. Adekombi, please.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, KBAC, Chief Imam, all protocols observed. We have just two major issues we want to lay before Your Excellency. One, we first of all want to appreciate the efforts of Lagos State government in the way they have been prudently using the revenue they are collecting. Everybody could see it. Within now and the last 2-3 years, attitude is beginning to change with regards to tax collection. So, but there are issues that need to be fine-tuned so that this effort will start to drive on its own without having to use tax force. The collection of revenue by tax force is still an indication that people are still being forced, but Lagos is beginning to change. The first issue is the need for consultants hired by the government to discuss their audits with the companies that they are auditing before they write their report. Very often, what comes out of their audit, which is never discussed with the companies they are auditing, is a gargantuan bill, which, when issues are joined with the Lagos LIRS, it has to come down substantially because they are just unreasonable. They will say best of judgment. They will ignore all the documents that you give them when they come for their audit. And what the figures you are seeing is out of the moon. This should not be so. On several occasions, many tax stakeholders here will bear witness to the fact that when you now start discussing this issue, you can't just relate the figures. They are best of judgment. Why do they come for audit when they want to do best of judgment? They waste everybody's time, they waste everybody's energy, and the task force is ever overbearing, threatening to close your outfit any moment from now. That should change. We need, if you must continue auditing, do auditing properly the way it is done as a standard thing and recognized all over the world. That's our prayer one. Our prayer two is the complications that arise from companies who are not resident in Lagos. Their staff, their directors are maybe in Abuja or Port Harcourt, but they have an office in Lagos. The tax, income tax for staff in their Lagos office belongs to Lagos State. But now to insist that the managing director and the directors of these companies must come and pay tax in Lagos too, it's not supported by the law. And we need to stop wasting our time in this. Their income tax should be paid in the state where you are resident as at the 1st of January of the year you are talking about. This wastes a lot of time too. I recognize the fact that initially, like the state we are just in or about to leave now, you just have to enforce some very tight approach. But Lagos State has got to a stage where it should start normalizing these things. Thank you very much if these issues are addressed. Thank you very much indeed.
Can I have a round of applause for him, please? For the next presentation, I'd like to invite a past president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Mr. Gabriel Fashoto. A round of applause for him, please.
The Deputy Governor, all other protocols observed. I join the previous contributors to appreciate the Lagos State government for giving taxation a facelift. We professionals in the taxation field, we have been able to enjoy the practicability of the Lagos State government in encouraging the tax-paying public to be drawn into the tax net. Ordinarily, I would have talked about the goodness aspect of the taxation as being practiced and administered in Lagos State here. But because I do not have all the time in the world, and as the special advisor on taxation has said, as well as the chairman of LIRS, they will want contributions that will encourage them to do more come next year. So I have the following suggestions. For the tax-paying public, having gone through about 5 or 6 years of tax audit by the Lagos State government, I think that it is high time you ensure that you entrust your tax affairs with professionals. You really need to ensure that a professional handles your tax affairs, because every commercial transactions you go into, almost all of them have tax implication. And if this is the case, you need a professional to ensure that they put you through, they package your affairs properly, so that at any time, Lagos State government or even the federal government should come to have a look into your affairs, you do not lose your sleep because you have done the right thing. So, if a professional is really a professional, there is no way he will not ensure that you pay your taxes as at the right time. You are acquainted with the new laws governing the taxation provision. This is very important for the tax-paying public. On the side of the government, I would like to implore us to ensure that we have another look at those representing the tax-paying public before us, to ensure that they are real professionals. And even those we are engaging, they are the real professionals. Somebody has said that when they come to audit them, they will agree with the tax consultant. But when the demand note will be coming out, it will be something else. I believe that with little fine-tuning, the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service can overcome this problem. It's a practical problem, which I know, but I believe that issue of communication gap is still there. For the tax-paying public, we still have a lot of awareness to be taken into consideration, because a lot of people, as I'm talking to you now, they still don't even know which of the perquisites, which of the allowances, which of the revenue or income coming to them is taxable and those that are not taxable. In some cases, tax-paying public must have had a fixated mind. It's only basic salary that is taxable. No other allowance is taxable. I think we should change our orientation in this direction. Finally, the issue of deemed income. Having gone through 10 years of tax audits, you are still having the expatriates not declaring their letters of engagement or the total revenue or the total income they are earning. I think we should change this approach. If we are able to play the game according to rules, we will observe that we will take taxation to the greatest heights. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel Fashoto is past president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. And mainly, he was concerned with two issues. One, the essence of professionalism, that we can all do better in terms of compliance, especially those of us with small businesses. If we had a professional handle our tax affairs, and he went on about the advantages to be derived thereby. Then the second one, I think, is of very, very high importance. That is the recurrent issues of foreign employees concealing the terms of their employment. It's always hide and seek with the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. So we are hoping that in the coming days and months, we will see a more open approach coming from the companies that engage foreign workers. Before that, we had Mr. Adekombi, who also had two issues mainly. The audit process. He wants to see a more civil or a more civilized audit process whereby the tax consultants who are commissioned to audit companies will do their job in conformity with all the rules that should guide conduct in that regard. Then he had the issue of non-resident staff who are not ordinarily supposed to be liable to tax in Lagos. After all this, I mean, much later we'll call on the chairman LRS to answer to some of these issues and to promise us that things will be done properly always, to give us the required assurances. Now, as we move on now, I want us to be a bit time conscious because we have a whole lot of groups here represented by spokesmen who would want to express their views at length. But really, for each group, I think we should just take about 5 minutes. We can summarize whatever we have to say in 5 minutes. If it's a much bigger issue, we would like you to make written representations. And let me say that if you're unable to speak at this forum, we still expect you to please write to us, tell us whatever you had in mind to say, and we will give such letters all the attention that they deserve. Going forward, I want to call on the representative of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Oteri. Mr. Godwin Oteri, please.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, His Royal Highness, the Oba of Lagos, His Royal Highnesses, other Obas present, members of the Lagos State National Assembly, ladies and gentlemen. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria was part of this conference in 2007 and also 2008. And I remember on those 2 occasions, we made some submission. And what I want to take today are 3 issues which are yet to be resolved. The first issue that man raised some 3 years ago concerned the mode of collection of these taxes. Man has always frowned at the mode of collection, whereby factories are closed down and so many levies are levied on companies. For instance, out of the 61 levies, taxes and fees paid in Lagos, manufacturers in Lagos pay about 70% of those ones. And we believe that is definitely too heavy for man. Secondly, we also complained about the land use charge. And the Lagos State government promised to amend the law in line with the out-of-court settlement agreement between Lagos State government and the OPS in the state. The law is yet to be amended, and again we can also recall that the rate at which companies are valued, we've also seen cases where the rate has been doubled. Thirdly, the approved list of taxes and levies which the state government promised to enact into law is yet to be enacted. So we are asking that the state government to please quicken that such that we have an approved list which every member of the public will know and we can all abide by it. Lastly, I also want to mention that we still require more enlightenment to members of the public. Members of the public and also officials of the tax bodies. We believe that if we all know what we have to do, if we all know what taxes we have to pay, you really don't need to cajole anybody to pay it. As good corporate citizens, we all abide and pay it. Lastly, let me also congratulate the Lagos State government and thank thank members of the tax office in Lagos State. I will say that compared to 2-3 years ago, things are much better, things are better organized, and we want to actually commend them for it, and also commend the state government on all the activities they are carrying out in Lagos to make Lagos an excellent state. We can tell you as part of man that Lagos State compared to other states is definitely more organized, and with more improvement will become a more business-friendly environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I welcome Mrs. Adebukola Osho from Ojubode Market, Ikorodu.
Ẹ káàsán gbogbo ẹ̀yin lọ́balọ́ba, mo kí yín pé ẹ kú jókòó, mo dẹ̀ kí bàbá mi náà ẹ kú jókòó sáà o. Orúkọ mi ni Osho Adebukola láti Ojúbode Market Ikorodu. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ni èmi fẹ́ sọ. Ìbéèrè tí mo fẹ́ béèrè ni pé nínú ọjà mi à ń sanwó tax. À ń san tax, èmi ni mò ń fi ọwọ́ ara mi tí mo fi ń lọ gba tax lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọlọ́jà. Ó ní iye millions of naira tí mo ti pa wọlé bí mo ṣe jókòó ìfún Lagos State. Bọ̀ kíní kan ló ń dùn mí jù ni pé a ní iná nínú ọjà yẹn. A níná, and then I need the security. Àwọn olè ń bọ́ọ̀gì ṣọ́ọ̀bù wa jù, wọ́n ń kó ọjà wa. Ìyẹn ló ń dùn mí pé kí ni à ń sanwó orí fún. Èmi fúnra mi máa ń ti ṣọ́ọ̀bù tán bá sanwó orí. Mo rò pé àwọn èèyàn lè jẹ́rìí sí i. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá wa wá nǹkan ṣe sí i. A níná, a ní security. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ I need the security o.
Thank you very much. Ẹ bá wa fún màmá wa ní àtẹ́wọ́. The man in charge will give you a response to your complaints now.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Bóyá ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ níbi tí ọlọ́jà yẹn. A kọ́kọ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín gidigidi fún gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ń ṣe láti rí wípé gbogbo ẹni tó yẹ kó sanwó orí inú ọjà yín pé wọ́n ń sanwó. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ sọ nípa iná àti ààbò security ní ọjà yẹn a yẹ̀wò a máa bá ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ tó wà lágbègbè yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ nítorí àwọn ọjà báwọn yẹn lábẹ́ ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ni wọ́n wà. Ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ ló ń gbowó ọjà and àwọn ló yẹ kó rí wípé gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ náà gbogbo ààbò yẹn ó ṣeé ṣe ṣùgbọ́n àwa náà á ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú wọn á dẹ̀ rí wípé ìyàtọ̀ wà nínú ọdún tá a fẹ́ bọ́ sí. And then we have the presentation from the Manufacturers Association. As usual, I think since the beginning of this administration, we have had a mutual cooperation that is unparalleled. In previous years, it had always been a tug of war, but now we always communicate, we always see what we can do to assist each other. And I thank especially Mr. Oteri for the presentations that he made. He mentioned one or two things that I think we will find time to discuss in details later. But I want to respond briefly at this forum for the benefit of others who may also benefit from the explanations that I want to offer. Now, I have personally attended a few functions of the Manufacturers Association. And when I heard that there were 61 levies payable in Lagos, I was shocked. Because if there were 61 levies, I think I should know in order to advise government accordingly. As far as I know, there are not 61 levies. At that occasion, it was a man function, and I did challenge the Manufacturers Association to please provide us with a list of these levies. If we had a list of the levies, we will be able to ascertain which ones are genuine, which ones are not, which ones you should pay in Lagos, which ones you should not. Perhaps that list contains levies that we never do collect in Lagos, but maybe because they are payable in other states, they are just put on a list. So I think this is something I want to throw a challenge on once again, that the Manufacturers Association should please oblige my office with a copy of this list of 61 levies so that I can explore possibilities of reducing them, if indeed that they exist in Lagos State. As for the local government levies, which we promised, you may be aware, because I think you attended the public hearing, that the law is under consideration by the State House of Assembly. There were one or two issues that arose during the public hearing, and I'm reliably informed by the chairman of the Finance Committee that these issues are now being looked into, and there's a possibility, a real possibility, that the law itself will be passed in the shortest possible time. But in the meantime, I want to assure you that we are working with the local government chairman. You will, for 2010, definitely have a list of levies, which everyone have scrutinized and have agreed should be the list of levies applicable at the local government level in Lagos State. So that is something we are very conscious on. We are eager to get it going. And for the coming year, we are sure that you will have a definite position on that. Then the land use charge. Indeed, I will recall that when we met with the private sector and other stakeholders, at the heydays of the law, I think the agreement was in 2002, and we gave ourselves 7 years to keep the rates constant. Actually, at the end of last year, we could have changed the rates. Now we could change the rates and increase them, but His Excellency the Governor has graciously approved that the rates be kept constant. So the rates have not changed. So I'm surprised when you say that some rates have doubled. Certainly not the rate. Maybe valuation, but valuation could never have doubled. There might have been slight increases in valuation, understandably, because we are talking of a space of 8 years. Definitely property values have gone up. But we have not reflected the full increase. We have reflected very slight increases in some areas. Again, as I said at the last Manufacturers Association gathering, if you have complaints of this nature, of somebody whose rates appear to have doubled, and I'm assuring you that the rates could not have doubled, please send them to me for my personal attention. I will see how the issue can be amicably resolved. Perhaps it's all an error because I insist that the rates have remained the same. Valuation may have changed slightly. Now, having said that, I think we'll move on now. I'd like to call on, there is a representative for the Nigerian Automobile Technicians Association, NATA, here. The vice chairman, actually, Mr. Mike Adebajo. Mr. Mike Adebajo, please.
Good day, all. The Deputy Governor, our fathers and mothers present, all other protocols observed. I'm from Nigerian Automobile Technician Association. Our motto is keeping Nigeria moving on safe wheels. I want to say that this sector is one of the sectors that are not being well tapped for one particular reason, because that sector is not well being managed by the government. I believe if that sector is provided with standard mechanic villages, probably in all the local governments and the development authority, it will be easier for we, the executives, to collect their taxes from them. And as Lagos is now a mega city, it is never the plan of the government to have mechanics working on the street corners. Certainly that is not part of the plan of a mega city. So I will plead with the government that we, the mechanics, should be put into consideration by providing us with standard mechanic villages in all the local governments. Then